girls were looking crazy. My bro was so, we used to call it turned up. I had to turn it up. Is what we used. We still doing it, but the foot traffic. You know when Costco used to use the hand clicker, the foot traffic was different. Times. We back in the whole club out. Duffel bags for the appearance. It's hard to say how hot the city is right now. It's hard to say. We used to be in the club at night. Let me get this right. I don't know if that's what they were talking about outside my window, because they owe me a lot of money, right? I don't know if this is what they were talking outside of my window about. Off that thank you music video, I seen my bro run down like, almost like Home Alone. I thought my bro slid down the golden post and ran. I thought he was playing ball in the hotel. He was on a different level. I couldn't believe this. He woke up. So I'm not saying that you gotta live like this, but this is like doing, like, maybe if you in the league, in the big leagues at night, and you don't know what's going on at any time. You don't know what's going on. This is at nighttime. So much money in the city, but it's like they forgot. So when the people who act like that are main in the city, and then they just forget, that's, the money is not what it's supposed to be. We had people running down hotel stairs. They ran down the hotel stairs to the store just to find me in the club. Only problem is I was running with them. That's different. So when I'm over here running through the hotel and the stores, like, I'm running to the club, but I'm supposed to be there, the money is way different when the whole city is up like that. The whole crew is with me like Entourage. The movie Entourage. Only thing is, imagine if I'm supposed to be in the club getting paid, but everybody else in the entourage too supposed to find me. So some of the clubs is paying me, but I can only be in so many clubs, and the whole entourage is looking for me. I was in a club on the top part, just going wild. You gotta click the music. They don't know about those times. Some of the so there's a lot of the different generations. You know, we're real R&B, wish you were mine. So you know, the '80s was crazy, but there's a whole different generation. They was doing it on a different level. Not like that. Not like this. Every DJ was trying to find me. They're in the club. Where's Little J? Josh Forde in the building. They're like, where is he? The whole place is packed. They're like, you don't even gotta be around. They're saying his name. They're like, they're looking for, they want to pass the baton. They're running around with the DJs. They're like, boom, I found him. They said, I found him. I turned around. Boom. I turned around in the club. They said, I found you. Here's the mic. The whole place was booming. So check this out. A lot of my R&B girls, they've been in the club. Even with me too. There's a whole different generation now. Everybody was in the club. Say, where is it? Did you see him? Did you see him? They're like, I thought I just saw him over there. I thought I just saw him over there. A lot of people in the city been cheating, right? Because I was in the clubs, the money before in the duffel bags, big boy duffel bags. Once I found out they was doing any kind of stuff in the city, they've been still trying to say, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? They want the appearance, bro. He had the hair like, he was on a course going crazy, right? He had the hair like that. Big mic, money mic. I pull up in a club with MJs on. They say he looked like Mike. Big Mike, Money Mike. They say he looked like Mike. My other bro too. He's searching in the club. They're all searching. Once they pass that, I heard my bro screaming. I heard the R&B girl screaming. She was screaming. They found him. You hear this? See, that's why it's crazy. That's why it's crazy. I say, you must be kidding me. This is when I had to walk through the club. I said, I cannot believe this. Because they were looking for me, right? Then they gotta do it like off the double. Once I heard in the whole, I said, where's the mic? Then we got Big Mike, we got Mike, Money Mike. They say he looked like Mike. They trying to pass him the ball. I run through the middle. I said, you gotta be kidding me. I couldn't believe that. Because I have to shout out to bro because I didn't know nobody. I didn't know anybody. I said, how this studio session happened to then have me listening in the club off of the two, where they find me. I turn my back. I grab that. I just run through the middle, doing laps. The whole place going crazy, just jumping. Girls screaming. Just like at the mall before. Just like at the mall. I was at the top. I had to go through that store. Like, I don't know. What is it? Hollister or something probably? Or the other one? It's all dark in there. I had to run through there just to hide on my phone. They was all looking for me, bro. Like, oh my God. Then I'm just chilling in there just to, you know, like sometimes it's overwhelming a little bit. I'm chilling in there. Then I had to go walk to the jungle factory. So I was all the way up there, though. Then come to find out, I pop up down there on the other side. They said, how you got over there? Nobody even knew. I had to do a couple laps around. I was at the top part. Then I ended up down there. I don't know how I got down there all the way to by Sam's Club like that to Seven Rings Magic Island. Then I was out there. So the whole mall was booming. Even down the bottom part. I'm over there walking through. I was searching for the mic in the mall. Then at the other mall, I had to walk on the mic. They were playing it in the store. Felt like I had the mic in my hand. I said, "Where's the mic?" Cause when I was in the club, they said that's Money Mike. He had the Money Mike. That's Big Mike. That's DJ Mike. And they say he looked like Mike. I have 5 of them all trying to pass the ball. The whole thing was booming. Money unbelievable. I had 4 mics saying he looked like Mike. All in the club going crazy. Heydays. I felt like prime time running through there. I was looking for Sanders, bro. Heydays. Sanders said, boom, that's yours. I said, what you mean? He said, that's yours. I said, here, take this then. He said, nope, that's yours. I said, that's crazy. I folded that, put that in my pocket. I said, the club look crazy right now. Back to back. People screaming. There's no money in my hand. Boom. Look crazy back to back. I said, you must be kidding. That's what the money look like right now in the club? I said, okay. I said, it's game time. Play the Winners Club in there. The whole thing shut down. Play the Winners Club in a club. The thing shut down. Unbelievable. That's different times. Different times. Off a mixtape, bro. They said, what you got? I said, look at this. I said, that's that heat in the streets. I gotta get back in. I gotta get back in the laboratory. They said the A&Rs, the producers, the distros. I heard some dude in the back. He was trying to act like the new Pillsbury. I was on the front cover of Pillsbury Doughboy, right? I heard bro in the back. I said, who is that? Is that the new? I didn't even get the dough yet. I heard his voice. I thought the commercial was on, bro. I was trying to get that dough. I said, that sound crazy outside. The whole club was booming. I don't know if the person that was out there on the bleachers, I don't know if they got in. The list, that's why. It said, they said like, there was an R&B girl. There was an R&B girl with her nails and all of that. She was holding the list like this. Bro's voice back there was higher than the commercial volume, sounding like Pillsbury. I said, where's the dough? The R&B girl was holding the list. I said, check if his name is on there. She was holding it like this. Her nails, right, was sparkly. One of them had something in her teeth like this. One of them had the list. I said, how are we supposed to check this list if it's here right now? She's like, well, they can. I said, huh? She told me you should say that they can pay me. They could pay me to make that list fast. Now they talk about that on the news. This is when it was heydays, primetime days. Me and Sanders was making bread. Bread. We was turning water into bread, bro. Walk in the club. They passed that ball like a lateral. I said, what is this? I said, that's for you. I was like this. Bread. Chips. Crazy money. Hop on a plane. I turn around. Say, how you got here? The stories is unreal. I said, I thought you was just over there on the island. I turn around. They said, bro, your plane is dust. I said, what is you talking about? They said, my plane is dust. I said, no way. I said, no way. No way. Too much money in the city right now. Too much money in the city. I had to go back. I heard the words on a record. It didn't drop it. It said, spend that. So the casino told me I can go back. But I don't know all this, right? So they gotta get all that right. They said spend that. I said, this is crazy. Felt like when I was with Jack in a Box. Felt like when I need Jack in a Box to get back at your boy. Let me talk to you about Jack in a Box. This is not even when the airport told me to go back, bro. That's a whole different time. Jack in a Box had your boy looking like bikini season. Chocolate cakes, crispy fries, Jack in a Box. Some odd reason, I don't know if it's I was there every day. It was like a It was like a movie in there. That's Jack in a Box. That's when I had the Jack in a Box deal. I'm trying to get the deals back. I don't know what happened. It's like I had a deal with the clubs, deals with all the restaurants. I'm trying to get back. I'm like, where's the list? Then that's not even Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen. Dairy Queen and my my R&B girl said, I said, is you Dairy Queen? She got my milkshake. I said, that look like Dairy Queen. Then that's not even Pizza Hut. Talk to me about the Pizza Hut Jack in a Box deal, right? I used to sit. Who remembers even when you could sit down? Before you could do all this on top of the planes. The movie theaters was cheap price. Pizza Hut before I could sit down. The whole place looked like a movie. I thought I was in Fun Factory. I thought I was in Fun Factory, bro. This was Pizza Hut. I thought I was about to play poker in Vegas. I was cutting pies, bro. They said this is an apple pizza pie. I said, no way. This was in prime time days. I think only probably Sanders knew that. I think probably only Big G, my mom knew that probably. I think probably my sister kind of knew that. A lot of my R&B girls, I don't know if they remember that. Felt like I was in the movie theater at Pizza Hut. The seat, I was like this in the seat, cutting apple pie slices. The whole thing looked like a movie theater. Then, if I even walked to that way, the arcade looked like Dave and Buster's, bro. When I went there, had my girl screaming Big Bertha. I said, pardon me? I was throwing alley oops like this. Left and right, throwing alley oops like this. Then my bro had to stay in there. I was at first when I was out there with that kind of deals, they gotta get my deals back in the city. Then my bro started hooping like this. Started hooping all day in there. The whole place was money. When I was out there though, when I was out there, it was different. They started serving pizzas. When I had the Jack in the Box deal, they started serving pizzas. They tried to give me Pizza Hut deals and all that. They need your boy back. That's not the clubs. That's not the hotels. That's not the airports. That's not even on the buses, bro. Mm-mm. That's not the Greyhounds. I was with my sister on the Greyhound, bro. R&B girls was loving me. Running through Disney World. I felt like magic in the city. They was chasing me through Disney World. I said, I was searching for Mickey Mouse. I said, where's Mickey Mouse? Little do I tell you not. Had one line following me. You know those Chinese dragons? Whole line. I said, where's Mickey Mouse? I thought I was Bugsy. Bugs Bunny. I felt like Space Jam in Disney World. Felt like I had the monster jersey from Disney walking through. Unreal. Walk through there. The whole place packed. Different times. Hop off the Greyhound. Hop off the Greyhound. He said, bring him to there. Helicopters in the skies. All you heard, just like now, when they're not supposed to be doing all that, sirens trying to locate the duffel bag. They say he's here. I had to remember those days. I had to remember those days. I had to remember those days. We was all up in the Honda. We were switching lanes. Like we were trying to win a race. Racing Club Black. The Winners Club, Racing Club Black. Switching lanes like we about to win a race. Remember those days. Look like Need for Speed. Any which way. The city is almost like that again. Only thing is, all I had to do is walk through. This is a Ford lateral. Duffel bag. Duffel bag. Duffel bag. They don't even remember. They don't even remember. This is a whole problem with it. Because check this out. Every time I'm in the city, somebody's with me to secure the bag. Somebody gotta be there to secure the bag sometimes. Somebody might just go boom, boom. But check this out. I had to walk through. I walked through the place, the concert. Packed back to back. The whole place packed back to back. I said, it's unreal. Unreal. Sometimes I walk in the arena. I'm not on the stage. I walk in the arena. I was in the back seats. Felt like the front row. The whole thing. That's the wildest thing. We turn around like this. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. We need the Pizza Hut deal again. We need the Domino's deal. We need the Costco deal. When we used to walk through like that, dessert pizzas. They said you can pick a tray. I thought I was at Golden Corral. They said you could pick whatever you want. When I walked through, they said you could pick. I said, you gotta be crazy. They said no. They said no. You can pick what you want. The whole place was going crazy. This is when even had my music playing. Sounded like it almost sounded like all my theme music was playing. Walk through the other place, the other malls, or the shoe stores. They said, take a look at this one. I had to look around. My bro had SB Dunks. I said, what is that? I said, what is that? He holding a bag. I said, what is that? He took me through the alleyway. I said, no way. I said, you must be crazy. He said, look at this. I said, I don't know. He said, that's an SB dunk. I thought I was at the basketball court. I didn't know what that really was at that time. I was already rocking it. Then he said it's an SB dunk or something. Then he took me through the back alleyway. He said, look at this. Shoe boxes everywhere. Felt like I was in Entourage. Felt like I was Turtle with the shoes. Like back here where felt like I had a Reebok deal, bro. Everyone almost. Reebok still is. I'm still waiting for Reebok to send them in. I used to walk through. I said, what is that? I said, you gotta take a look at it. The silver was shining like a Pokemon card. The silver was shining like a Pokemon card. I went like this. Look at that. The thing was shining. I just had to hold it like that. That's what my bro was doing with the SB Dunks. I walked past finish line. Like almost walked past. Somebody run out. They almost grabbed me like the feds grabbed me off the bus. That's a whole different story. I was walking past. Had the metal sign. It went like that. They said, look at this. I said, I gotta see that. I have to see it. I thought it was a Saya box. I thought it was like Foot Locker. I thought it was a Saya box too. They pulled me back by finish line. I couldn't even walk past. I already was looking at whatever that was. That's not even out in the bay. I forget where that even was. Might be out in on the streets over there. Well, I was walking through the whole pretty girls and flashy lights. I had the small camera back then. I walked by that. I was already like, I cannot even bend my neck like that because I had to stop balling. I had to keep looking. And I said, I gotta walk back, I gotta walk back, I gotta walk. Boom. They said, look at this. I said, you gotta not do that. Do not do that. Then I walked in. It smelled like crispy plastic and shoe leather. I looked at the wall. This is crazy. This is not like the YouTube. Not like the YouTube. Not like this and that. This is the Pro Palo too. I seen people with this much shoes. Bags. I walked back. They said, we got this. They said, not even they got that. So you gotta be kidding me. Then my bro, he said, look at this. Furry SB dunks kind of look like. It looked like furry SB dunks. I looked at that. I thought it had like an orange bird on top or something. But this is wild. I was in the middle of the jungle through the alleyway. Then I saw that. I said, no way. Then he started trying to match like zoomies. Like, they had all of that. Then if you match that with that, we had the whole club going crazy. We pulled through there. Bro was like that on my shoulder. I said, this is unreal. The whole place was packed. It was like that on my shoulder. All back to back. I thought I was on the field, on the court, in a huddle. I see my bro. I tried to pass him the ball. I said, you should take that. I seen him over there. He took the whole thing. The whole club was done. I seen my bro chilling like this. He spun around. He said, it's good to see you. I said, you gotta be crazy. The whole thing was popping. Whole city popping. He spun around. He said like this, Jay, what you mean? Jay, where you been? The whole place. I said, you gotta be kidding. We was like that in a huddle.